I wanted to give you a little idea of the wiring stuff that's going on. This is a completely assembled Puff and Chuff electromechanical kit. It does not have the inserts for the wires to pin in, but it has all the components and it has all the grinding and filing that it needs to fit into the engine. And the 3D print part has the wheel, the gear and the cam, the limit switch to trigger Puff and Chuff, and the holder for the reed switch that triggers the Chuff sound board. Okay, so this is the electromechanical assembly. This is a bare engine that has been assembled and tested, and it has ball bearings. This is Gill's chassis, and here I wanted to show you the screw holes here. What you do is you remove the red board and you can screw that down when you get to it. But I'm just showing the test fit that this is how this piece would start out. And then this is the engine that we built for Rodney, and you'll see there's a little bit of difference. Right. Now then, this is the engine that I've just finished wiring for, oh God, Rodney, I don't remember, Leon, I think, I can't remember, but it's somewhere, it's somewhere in my brain. Okay, at any rate, I wanted to point out the wiring process. This wire goes down to the motor. These yellow wires go down to the trigger. The trigger goes all the way back out to the harness. This is the power input for the Puff and Chuff. It goes out to the harness. Okay, so these two are sort of like tied together. Then I've put in, as you can see, the pins 1, 2, and VCC. 1, 2 VCC feed the switch. That feed the switch for the Puff and Chuff, and this goes into the Puff and Chuff circuit. So they're going to come down here and go there. Then we have the power inputs, and they're pivoted out because of the way it works. And then the motor gets wired in. Right next to it is a blue and yellow, and they go down to the motor. And then after that, we have the relay trigger circuit, and that goes to the motor through the circuitry of this board here that tells the relay the motor is on. I don't care what direction it's on. Okay. Then you go to Puff and Chuff if the motor's on. If the motor's off and we have power, then you're going to go to idle mode, which is a stream. No Puff and Chuff. Okay. So this is the wiring that would go on to this board that is all over here in its lovely way. And this is now trying to streamline it. As you can see, we don't have the bulge, we don't have the lump, and we don't have the tie wraps. It's a lot cleaner and a lot neater. And what I wanted to show you then was, this is the smoke assembly. I just completed. I found a motor and all that, so we're ready to go. And I put on all of the leads for the smoke assembly. This would be a smoke assembly complete with wiring. These are soldered into the pins, the positive and negative and whatnot. And then this gets fitted to the engine just like that. It would get screwed down, and then these would slide onto the motor. Right, these are the motor leads. So this is the ground. It would go to this lead on the right, and then the shorter lead goes to the hot, and that's where the trigger motor power comes from the relay, depending on what position Puff and Chuff is in. And then the relay goes out. You don't see that. And then this goes all the way to the front for power to bring in that nice 9-volt power into the heater. So this is a completely assembled smoke with all the wiring that it needs. And so while, okay, you see this and you go, oh my God, Dennis, we can't do that. Well, then you see this and it's a little neater. Got a few loose ends, but you can see it's a lot neater. And then when you see how we start out, it's fairly simple. It's just a few wires here, a few wires there, and the next thing you know, you end up with, you end up with this. That's right. You end up with this nice, neat thing. Anyway, I thought that was worth sharing just so you can see the process. And I have to wire this motor up yet, and I have to build a sensor, and I have to build a sensor wire. and I have to put in all of the receptacles. All of these are bent right angle pins, and then these can unplug, so you can take this board off complete, or you can and then they just hang from the thing. Plus it helps me because I'm creating now the list of the wires and the lengths, so that when I go to build another engine, or if someone is brave and can solder and follow instructions, I can send them the wire list, the wire color, length, and connector that's needed, and DIY guys could actually build this everything. Just get the printed parts, and then buy the components. I put the list together if you want. A challenge will be the boards, and I have the boards, so they'll be available, reasonable. The boards are not really that expensive anymore, so that's good. There is some work to do to the board. You got to think about that. So far, I haven't redesigned this. I probably should. Over time I will. If this goes anywhere, I'll make this even better and simpler, but right now that's the way it is. So I have 2 tenders complete, 3 engines almost complete, and the all the parts for the trucks are ready for Gil's tender to get assembled, and then I can get his tender assembled, and then we will have 3 engines in chassis assembly ready to run, and that's my goal. I want to get these things to the guys. Okay, that's the update. Wiring, how it looks, that's, doesn't scare anybody. That may scare people. That may scare people. This doesn't look so bad though. This looks a lot nicer, you see. Okay. All right, I'll get back to you later.